Good evening. I would like to call to order the regular meeting of the Newport News School Board for Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. On behalf of the members of the school board and Dr. Mitchell, I welcome each of you present this evening and those of you watching on TV and online. A quorum is present to transact the business of the school division. Please note that the chairperson, Mrs. Searles Law, is absent due to being out of town. We will begin tonight's meeting with the invocation and the pledge to the flag. Here to do the honors are two students from Hilton Elementary School, Charlotte Thornton and Jason Lefkowitz. First, Charlotte, thank you, will come forward and deliver the invocation. Charlotte, please come forward and tell us a little about yourself before you get started.
My favorite color is purple. I like animals, and I'm the president of my student body. I also do soccer and gymnastics.
Great. All right.
Good evening. I'm Charlotte Thornton from Hilton Elementary. As we gather today to discuss the important matters that impact our school community, let us take a moment to reflect on the values that guide us. May we be inspired to approach our decisions with wisdom, kindness, and a commitment to the well-being of all students and educators. Let us remember the importance of collaboration, understanding, and respect as we work towards creating a positive and supportive learning environment. May our actions be guided by a shared vision of growth, opportunity, and unity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlotte. Very good. And now, Jason, would you please come forward and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then you may begin the play.
My name is Jason. I play soccer. My favorite color is blue, and I am sort of like the class clown or the school clown.
Okay.
But I do get really good grades.
All right. All right.
I mean, I'll take it.
We'll take that.
So now, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you, Charlotte and Jason. Thank you very much. You did a wonderful job. Supporting Charlotte and Jason tonight are their family members and their school family. Please stand and be recognized. The board appreciates your encouragement that you have given these students, and we thank you for bringing these students tonight. The next item on the agenda is school board recognitions, but before we do that, we do have Delegate Shelley Simons. I would like to recognize her. She's in attendance tonight. She worked very hard for us in the General Assembly, and she is a former school board member, so she has a special place in our heart. So the next item on tonight's agenda is school board recognitions. Dr. Mitchell, please join me at the podium.
Thank you.
Good evening. I have the honor and privilege of recognizing some outstanding members of our community this evening. Our first honoree this evening has just completed a very special experience in the service to the Commonwealth of Virginia. Deshaun Foster Jr. served as a page in the Virginia General Assembly for this year's session in January and February. Deshaun is an 8th grader at Booker T. Washington Middle School. Deshaun, would you please come forward. He spent 2 months at the state capitol immersed in this year's session as part of the 2025 Virginia Delegates House Page Program. Pages are described as a huge part of the policy team's daily operation with responsibilities that include running talking points to the legislators, observing committee meetings, and managing daily calendars. Students get hands-on experience in the policy world while getting a front row seat to how our state legislators works. Congratulations, Jashawn. We would also like to recognize his family and supporters who are in the audience with us this evening. If you could please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Can we get a picture? Next, we would like to acknowledge some community partners who are doing great things for our students. Members of the Kiwanis Club of Greater Hilton are being recognized for their contributions to Carver Elementary School. Since 2010, the club and Greater Hilton Foundation have supported the academic and behavioral achievements at Carver students under the guidance of the school's administration and faculty. Club members have volunteered and provided monetary support for numerous initiatives and programs. Recent efforts include funding and installing a teacher's lounge and helping with the school's efforts to lower chronic absenteeism. The club continues to support soundscapes, provide a monthly 5th grade pizza luncheon, collect school supplies, donate free books, and give end of marking period awards. Awesome, awesome. At this time, we ask that the following foundation members come forward to accept this recognition. Al Retort, Mary Smith, okay. Joe Allen,
he's not here either.
okay. Josh Davis,
He's not here.
Leroy and Kathy Griffin. Yes, Bill Platt? Mick Platt. Come on up. And Don Westmoreland. Don Westmoreland, come on up. Okay, the principal of the Carver Elementary School. And be recognized. Come on up.
Schools, family and community engagement specialist.
Okay, I'm going to congratulate the whole entire family. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your 15-year commitment to making contributions to Carver Elementary School, community, and Newport News want to thank you for your continued support of our schools. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to get a picture. You want to come forward? Come to the middle, Ms. Britt.
Did everybody else stand that's here from Kiwanis?
Yeah, there are a number.
Will all the members of the Kiwanis Club please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Our next honorees are very integral to the operation of our school division and has become particularly near and dear to us during this month of March as we prepare our budget for the next school year. Our budget team has once again received an award for its outstanding work. The Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada has awarded the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award to the Newport News School Board for its annual budget document for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024. The award is the highest form of recognition in the area of governmental budgeting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a government and its management, according to GFOA. The award reflects the commitment of the governing body and staff to meeting the highest principles of governmental budgeting. Please come forward to accept your awards. Chief Financial Officer, Scarlett Minto. Budget Supervisor, Irene Cooper. Senior Budget Analyst, Leslie McLeese. Newport News family unable to join us this evening are members of the budget team, Senior Budget Analyst, Casey Spencer, and Position Control Specialist, Aaron Reed. Congratulations again. We also like to thank their supporters in the audience this evening. Thank you for all so much for being here to support our financial team. So now we're going to get a picture. To the middle. Next, we'll move into recognition in the area of Outstanding Athletic Activities Program. Warwick High School Athletic Director Lucas Brown has been named the 2025 Virginia Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association Class 5-6 Athletic Director of the Year. Congratulations, Mr. Brown. If you could please come forward. Awesome. Mr. Brown was hired at Warwick in July of 2024 after 9 years as athletic director at Kecoughtan High School in Hampton. He currently serves on the Virginia High School League Executive Committee and VI-AAA Board of Directors and is athletic director chair of Region 5B as well as the Peninsula District. The VI-AAA Athletic Administrator of the Year Awards have been given since 1974, and the recipients represent the very highest level of education to student athletes in Virginia. Mr. Brown's commitment now joins the extraordinary legacy of excellence and esteem company of those who have come before him. We want to take a moment to acknowledge his family members and school community who are present this evening. Would you please stand to be recognized? Ward, come on. Also want to recognize administrators, Warwick Principal Tiffany Thompson, Assistant Principal Jessica White, Ottoman, and Michael Edwards, as well as the Director of Athletics, Lee Martin. Let's give them all a hand. All right, you want to get your picture with me, Mr. Brown? Our next honorees are regional champions for the Winter Virginia High School League season. Tonight, we are thrilled to recognize the achievements of these talented students and athletes as we ask that each of you please remain at the front until your photo is taken with the group. In wrestling, Denby High School Peter Byron won the Region 4A championship at 113 pounds. Peter, please come forward. Denby's wrestling coach, please come forward as well. Otis Westby, are you here? Both please come forward. Congratulations. He may come around this way. From Warwick High School, Joshua Barnhart is the Region 5B wrestling champion at 144 pounds. Also from Warwick, Robert Tucker earned the Region 5B wrestling championship at 165 pounds. Warwick wrestling coach is Michael Norton. Would you all please come forward? Woodside High School, Nehemiah Mix is the Region 5B wrestling champion at 190 pounds. Woodside's wrestling coach is Cameron Mix. Would you please both come forward? We do want to take a moment to acknowledge their family members and supporters who are present with us this evening. Would you please stand to be recognized? Oh, come on. Stand up. Thank you. We also like to thank their principals, assistant principals, and athletic directors who may be with us this evening. I see Denby High School, Woodside. Thank you. Heritage, thank you for being with us this evening. Next, oh, let's get a photo. I'm sorry. Next, we have individual event 5B swimming and diving champions, all whom are from Menchville High School. Please join me in congratulating them as their names are called for them to come forward. Jose McCauley for boys diving. Bernard Kim for boys 100-yard breaststroke. Caden Rogers for boys 100-yard butterfly. Sterling Rogers for boys 200-yard freestyle. The boys 400-yard freestyle relay team of Sterling Rogers, Andrew Ramel, Caden Rogers, and Bernard Kim. The girls 200-yard medley relay team of Caitlin Wilson, Grace Holland, Madison Wolf, and Brooke Ferguson. Caitlin Wilson for girls 100-yard butterfly. Caitlin Wilson for girls 100-yard backstroke. The girls 200-yard freestyle relay team of Rachel Giles, Ralynn Harris, Brooke Ferguson, and Caitlin Wilson. Madison Wolf for girls 100-yard breaststroke. The girls 400-yard freestyle relay team of Rachel Giles, Grace Holland, Rylan Harris, and Madison Wolf. Minchfield swim and dive coach, Fallon Sherwood. Come on up. Minchfield swim and dive assistant coach, Scott Marty. We want to take a moment to acknowledge their family members and supporters who are present this evening. Would you please stand? Come on, stand up. And we do want to again recognize their principal, Dr. Holler. All right, so we come forward and let's get a picture. Our final group to be recognized this evening is Woodside High School's theater team, who won the 5B championship for one-act play. Please join me in congratulating the team members as their names are called for them to come forward. Kaylee Armstrong, Jacqueline Ballard, Paris Brown, Gabriella Cartwright, Logan Shelgren, Taylor Coleman, Savannah Dykus, Jenna Elzini, Nevaeh Gwen, Celise Hicks, Anea Johnson, Carmen Laura Sandoval, Isabella Lawson, Abia Maxfield, Nikayla Newsom, Alexandria Niaz, Bria Rose Pollock, Amani Prince, Autumn Richard. Come on up. Hi, ladies. Come on around. Join me. Nadea Ponte, Chloe Ross, Kyron Shaw, Akira Schuler, Jude Terry, Michaela Vinny, Mary Wells, Javon Williams. We also would like to ask to come up Woodside Arts and Communications Magnet Program Director, Amy Inslee. We also would like to come up Woodside Theater Coordinator, Hessedia Taylor, and Woodside Theater Assistant, K.E. Wright. Again, congratulations to all of tonight's honorees. Give them a hand of applause. We're all good? Okay. So at this time, Miss Kelly is going to organize us for group photos. So let's move this way.
Thank you.
And again, congratulations to all of our night honorees. Newport News family will take a short break, and during this time, our viewing audience will have the opportunity to view this month's school board spotlight at that time. If those of you who would like to leave may do so at that time, but in the words of Michelle Price, you may stay if you like to. So we'll stand in recess for about 6 minutes. Thank you.
Students enrolled in dual language immersion are building a lifelong love of learning by exploring language and culture. At 6 Newport News Public Schools, from preschool to high school, students can participate in dual language immersion classes where they receive daily instruction in both English and Spanish. To properly support their preschool and elementary age learners at home, families were invited to a superhero biliteracy night at Katherine Johnson Elementary. Families from Denby Early Childhood Center, Watkins ECC, Johnson, and Saunders Elementary Schools were invited to gain valuable literacy strategies and teaching tools from some super educators who have the power to teach in 2 languages. NNPS leaders, along with educators with the William and Mary Literacy Lab, shared engaging and practical learning methods so families can assist their students' multilingual literacy development outside the classroom. Families were also able to gain more personalized instruction and ask questions in small groups, with discussions led by their students' dual language classroom teachers. Afterwards, families and students were welcome to tour a wealth of resources and literacy activities that can be replicated at home. Students enjoyed the opportunity to showcase their learning through fun and engaging hands-on activities, while families took home a wealth of knowledge and materials to help their scholars excel as bilingual learners. Students at Menchville High School explored the rich cultural and educational experiences offered through historically Black colleges and universities. For the 3rd year, Menchville's devoted school counseling department hosted an HBCU experience for students. During their lunchtime, students were invited to the Media Center to meet with representatives from 11 HBCUs from 6 different states. They were able to talk about academic courses, athletics, military training programs, and campus culture. They also spoke with representatives from historically African American fraternities and sororities, commonly called the Divine Nine, to explore scholarship options and community service opportunities. For the students who attended, Menchville's HBCU experience was an informative opportunity to better understand the diverse options available when choosing an institution of higher learning. With skill and accuracy, Newport News students are hitting the bullseye. In February, Newport News Public Schools hosted the annual National Archery in the Schools program Regional Archery Tournament. At An Achievable Dream Middle and High School, the day-long competition featured over 150 archers from 10 area schools, including 9 schools in Newport News. 4th through 12th graders shot 3 scoring flights from 10 meters away, before moving further back to let loose from 15 meters. Between flights, students displayed sportsmanship by assisting archers from different schools to accurately tally their scores. And a number of student and teacher volunteers were happy to assist the young archers and ensure a safe tournament. In a repeat of last year's tournament, this year's top winners in their divisions were Rich Neck Elementary, Fitzgerald Middle, and Menchville High Schools. These 3 schools were joined by teams from Charles Elementary and Gildersleeve Middle, along with individual archers from Yates Elementary, Denby, and Warwick High Schools, who all qualified to compete at the Virginia State Tournament in early March. Competing against the best student archers from across the Commonwealth, students from Charles, Richneck, Fitzgerald, and Minchville qualified for the chance to compete at the U.S. Eastern National Tournament in May. Through a unique blend of art and literacy, students are encouraged to transform their interpretation of artwork into a creative and personal poetic response. For the 31st year, over 100 Newport News High School students participated in artistic verses at the Torgler Fine Arts Center on the campus of Christopher Newport University. In December, select English students from all 6 high schools were invited to the Torgler for an engaging workshop with accomplished performance poet, published author, and head coach of the Hampton Roads Youth Poets, Nathan Richardson. During their time together, the creative writing students shared their own poetry, while Richardson challenged and equipped them to begin looking at art through an imaginative lens to ultimately write a poem that explores and articulates their unique interpretations and personal emotions. Students were free to tour all of the galleries at the Torgler, including the main exhibit that showcased how different artists used a variety of materials to reflect light in amazing ways. Once the students selected the piece of art they connected with, they used their writing talents, critical thinking skills, creativity, and self-expression to shape and submit their poems for judging. In February, Mayor Philip Jones welcomed students, families, and educators to a Student Readings and Awards ceremony at the Torgler on a Saturday morning. Thanks to a grant from the Newport News Education Foundation, honorable mentions and top contest winners all received a cash prize. Students from An Achievable Dream, Minchville, and Woodside were the top contest winners, with the first place award going to Cameron Brown from Woodside. All participating students were recognized and encouraged to serenade the audience with their literary interpretations, as they learned firsthand how to communicate through the blending of visual art and poetry. In early March, the 15th season of middle school volleyball wrapped up. After an action-packed regular season, 4 different schools survived the single elimination postseason to compete for the girls and boys citywide championships at Warwick High School. On the girls' court, the Passage Panthers were pitted against the Fitzgerald Jazz. This was Passage's first trip to the big dance since the 2nd season of middle school volleyball in 2011. In the first set, the Jazz pulled ahead early, but the Panthers roared back, hoping to win the set. But strong serves from the Jazz closed the first set in the Jazz's favor. The Jazz rode this momentum, dominating the second set while only allowing 5 points scored against them. This is Fitzgerald's 7th championship title overall, making them the winningest girls team in Newport News over the past 15 seasons. Longtime Fitzgerald coach and now retired educator Jane Marino enjoyed leading a balanced team full of talented student athletes this season. For the boys' tournament game, the Washington Bay Sabres were looking to repeat as champions as they faced the Gildersleeve Seahawks. The Seahawks won the first set, and Washington eked out a second set victory to set up a decisive third set. With both teams exchanging the lead, Gildersleeve survived to capture their 5th citywide title. Gildersleeve coach and special education lead teacher at Minchville, Laura Stook, credited her team's unity and trust in each other, creating a bond that ensured victory for the Seahawk volleyball family.
I hope you enjoyed this month's school board spotlight. During our regular meetings, we provide time for the public to address the school board. These opportunities are scheduled in the early part of our agenda and towards the end of the meeting. As advertised, citizens may submit comments via email up to 30 minutes prior to our meeting time to be included in the official meeting record. For those of you joining us in person, the board considers this an opportunity to listen to your comments. Please understand that we will consider your concerns. We ask that you comply with our 3-minute time limit. As you begin your comments, a green light will come on, a yellow light signals that you have 30 seconds remaining, and a red light and beep indicates your time is up. As your name is called, please come forward. So we will begin with Reverend Natalie Chamberlain, and she will be followed by Delegate Shelley Simons.
Good evening, members of the school board, Dr. Best and Dr. Mitchell. It is always a privilege to be able to be here in front of you. I am Reverend Natalie Chamberlain. My pronouns are she and her. I'm part of a broad coalition of citizens who have been attending these meetings for more than a year and a half now. We support equality and the respectful treatment of all children, including trans and other LGBTQIA+ youth. I've been coming a lot, and I can't think of anything else to say that hasn't actually already been said on the topic of the policy JBP. I know you want the best for the children in your care, so do we. We are here to advocate for those who are being targeted by federal administrative actions and the people in our community who are feeling empowered by those actions. These children and youth are not concepts for discussion, but flesh and blood people deserving of the same respect and care as every other child in the district. We're asking for your assurance that you are doing everything in your power to protect the queer community and especially those who are trans in your district. We're here in a visible way because they are not always so visible. In these dark and darkening times, you have the ability to offer light and hope. Will you?
Thank you. Delegate Simons.
Good evening. Thank you so much for letting me come and just bring some news from the Virginia General Assembly. I'm Delegate Shelley Simons. I represent the 70th District in Newport News in the Virginia House. One of the reasons I ran for the House is I was so upset about cuts to the support staff that we had in 2009. Those cuts were never restored. Finally, I'm really happy to tell you that this year we restored the funding for support staff in the budget. So it's really exciting. In addition, we were successful in increasing special education funding, providing bonuses for teachers and staff, on top of the state portion of a 3% raise effective July 1, 2025. These are victories for every student and every educator in the Commonwealth. Key to K-12 investments in the conference budget that have been submitted to the governor include lifting the support cap, an additional $223 million next school year across Virginia to fully eliminate this harmful cap, a special education add-on, a new $53 million investment to better support students with disabilities, teacher and staff bonuses. The budget includes the state's share of funding for a one-time $1,000 bonus for teachers and other SOQ-funded school staff, providing much-needed recognition for their hard work. And finally, a bill that I carried that I'm really excited about for math improvement. Targeted math support, $12 million of new funding is provided to improve student performance in math, helping address some of the worst post-pandemic related learning loss in the country and ensuring Virginia students receive the resources that they need to succeed. So I'm really excited about the budget that passed the Senate and the House. It's on the way to the governor's desk. I'm hoping for more good news after we wrap up on April 2nd with our reconvened session. But thank you so much for bringing greetings and letting me tell you what's going on in Richmond.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Delegate Simons, and we love to hear good news, some really good news. Thank you. Next, we will have Ms. Jackie Batterson, and she will be followed by Mr. Adam Morrow.
Good evening. My name is Jackie Batterson, and I am a resident of Newport News. This evening, I wish to express my deep frustration with the fact that for all the months I have been coming to these meetings and asking you to change your procedure, JBP, to match your policy, JB, there has not been one thing done to acknowledge our request. There has been no public discussion by members of the board, and there has been no open vote to allow the public to see how each of you views all the students in the school system. It's as though the transgender youth in this school district do not deserve an acknowledgement of their existence in regard to their preferred pronouns and selected names by which they would like to be addressed. This would align with tonight's budget priorities of climate and culture, promoting an environment of social, emotional, and physical well-being. A study was conducted online between March 13th and December 2nd of last year. It was based on a random sample of 22,260 adults in all 50 states. 3/4 of the American people support non-discrimination protections for the LGBTQIA people. This included 89% of Democrats, 62% of Republicans, and 78% of independent voters. It's unfortunate that the leaders in this state and in this country are so at odds with the American people. Whether it's out of fear, ignorance, or just bigotry, I can only guess. James Baldwin was a writer and civil rights activist whose writings I was fortunate enough to study as a teenager. My concern today is that students will not be knowledgeable about writers and authors such as he because their works are being taken out of school libraries and classrooms. I will end with a quote from Mr. Baldwin. "We can disagree and still love each other unless your disagreement is rooted in my oppression and denial of my humanity and right to exist." This is what our transgender youth are asking of you. The same humanity and respect shown to every other student and the acknowledgement of their right to exist. When you ignore their request to recognize who they are, you are in essence denying that they exist. They are frightened enough right now. Do not add to their burden. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board, people of Newport News, and especially a good evening to the teachers and support staff of the Newport News Public Schools who work so hard to help educate the children of this city. Firstly, I'd like to second my predecessors up here who have called for the dignity and protection of trans students which has been so grievously neglected. Secondly, I would like to praise the board for one group for not neglecting that same dignity for immigrant students and acting to protect them from the vile abuse that they have been threatened with by jackbooted officers who have been empowered to seize them from schools. And third and finally, I'd like to read an excerpt from a statement I've read twice before to bodies of workers of Tidewaters who have both times responded with overwhelming support to this statement from the Hampton Roads Public Employee Collective Bargaining Coalition. And since I only have 3 minutes, I'm just going to read a little of it. The Hampton Roads Public Employee Collective Bargaining Coalition stands united in our commitment to ensuring that every worker has a voice in the workplace through the power of collective bargaining. We believe that workers are the backbones of their communities, and it is through their dedication and labor that our cities, schools, and essential services thrive. By standing together, we elevate the rights and dignity of all public employees, ensuring that their contributions are valued and rewarded fairly. Our coalition includes the dedicated firefighters who risk their lives to protect our homes, the paramedics who provide critical care in moments of crises, the education professionals who inspire and shape the future of our children, the sanitation workers who keep our communities clean and safe, water and sewer workers who provide us clean drinking water, and the parks and recreation workers who create spaces for leisure and community engagement. We also proudly represent all other public employees who serve tirelessly across various sectors, from public health to transportation, libraries, and beyond. Each and every worker plays an essential role in the smooth functioning of our society. Together, we stand for the belief that every worker deserves respect, fairness, and security. Together we are stronger. Together we rise for workers, for families, for Hampton Roads. The collective voice of public employees is our greatest strength, and through solidarity, we will continue to advocate for a future where every worker is valued.
Thank you. Next, we will have Sharon Small, followed by Gabriel Marquez.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hi, my name is Sharon Small. I am a teacher with Newport News Public School, and I'm also the Vice President of the Newport News Education Association. Good evening, Dr. Mitchell, Vice Chair Dr. Best, and members of the board. The NNEA has been working toward winning contract negotiations for NNPS employees in order to give our hardworking staff and teachers a seat at the negotiation table. Teacher and staff working conditions are student learning conditions, so stronger contracts benefit our students as well. The NNEA is also advocating for the $1,000 bonus for staff and teachers through match funds from the proposed General Assembly budget. The General Assembly budget includes a line item for recommended 1K bonuses for all state employees, which includes NNPS teachers and staff. After Dr. Mitchell presented the proposed NNPS operating budget to the board on March 4th, the NNEA created a survey about the proposed NNPS budget in order to get feedback from staff and teachers. Over 250 employees submitted survey responses. The survey responses were mailed to the school board and the superintendent, and I want to share some of the highlights. About 87% of the respondents strongly support the 3% raise for NNPS employees. About 64% of the respondents strongly support increasing the starting teacher pay from $55,000 to $56,000 a year. About 49% of the respondents strongly support sign-on bonuses in high-need licensed positions. About 9% of the respondents strongly support the proposed health insurance increases. About 94% of the respondents said that they strongly support the 1K bonuses for staff and teachers. In summary, the $1,000 bonus for NNPS staff and teachers had the most support of any item on the survey, followed by the 3% increase. The health insurance increase and sign-in bonuses for high-need licensed positions had the least support. I would like to share the highlights from a free response portion of the survey. Many employees expressed concern about the 3% raise being able to address the rising cost of living. Many respondents also expressed gratitude for the proposed 3% raise, but also said they would like to see a larger raise that would have more impact on their monthly finances. Many employees said that the NNPS should prioritize retention bonuses and compression adjustments over signing bonuses in order to better value veteran Newport News Public School teachers. Survey respondents said they do not support the increased health care costs because they partially offset the pay increase, especially for those that are hourly employees. This makes the $1,000 bonus even more important for classified staff. Please follow the spirit of the General Assembly's proposed budget, which is a recommended 1K bonus for all state employees, including teachers and school staff. If money is being spent on signing bonuses for select new teachers, our hardworking NNPS staff and teachers also reserve the $1,000 retention bonus. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Gabriel Marquez.
Hello. Good evening to Drs. Bass and Mitchell, as well as the rest of the board. My name is Gabriel Marquez. Again, I'm sure you know me at this point. I'm once again here to speak on behalf of the Tidewater chapter of the DSA, of which I'm co-chair. I'll again be speaking on human rights and workers' rights. It's been more than a year again, and the public has still not heard any progress on policy JB and procedure JBP, which discriminate specifically against transgender students. I've returned to ask that the board act immediately to ensure all of our minorities are protected in our rapidly deteriorating political climate. I also ask that the board heed the demands of the NNEA and support collective bargaining rights. They deserve to have their voices heard and their needs met, as do all workers. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you. Next, we'll have David Brackman, followed by Kenya Nelms.
Good evening, I'm David Brackman. Good evening, I'm David Brackman. I call on the board to revise Procedure JBP, or its overriding Policy JB, to recognize the safety and dignity of trans students. I continue to hold out hope that someone on the board will lift a finger and then the other attached 4 digits to move to strike from JBP's Section 3G2 the phrase, quote, that promote the child's privacy and safety, end quote. Encouraging people to not use a bathroom that a trans person was ever in does nothing to promote anyone's privacy or safety. Your implication that trans kids just trying to live as themselves are instead some kind of predators is a disgusting and wholly unsubstantiated lie. Repeating it does the opposite of protecting every kid, and by instead encouraging a hostile environment. State law, which you ignored the first time and could do again, only gives Youngkin the authority to set model policies for activities and events that do not include athletics. It uses 1 out of its whole 10 sentences to specifically exclude athletics. Strike Procedure JBP's Section H, and instead defer to VHSL Policy 28A-8-1, which even after accommodating Trump's executive order is less exclusionary than NNPS is so eager to be. No thanks.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kenya Nelms. This is my first time being on board, so I apologize if I stutter. My daughter, she has been going to Saunders Elementary School for about 2 years now. Last year, my daughter's entire braid was ripped out of her head from the scalp. My daughter has gotten sent home not once, but twice with bruises on her arm. I didn't receive a call. And my daughter, she's, a little bit on the melanated side. But you can see those bright circles. She was being bullied. Class got changed 3 times within 2 months as well. I didn't receive a phone call or anything. However, if I were to send my child to school looking as though she was neglected, proper actions would have had to been taken. I'm just requesting that someone just take a look at the board, not the board, I apologize, administration. I have gone through the chain of command because I'm very big on that before doing anything else. When I went to the magistrate's office to go and get a restraining order against that said child, they went ahead, the police went to the school, and I was informed that the school did not want to comply with giving the address, even though I provided them with the name, date of birth, everything, because they actually used to live right behind me, but they ended up moving. There is a lot that has gone on within the school pertaining to my child, and actually other students as well, just from hearing about the parents at my children's daycare. Mrs. Pipkin, I've tried speaking with her multiple times, and it kind of just gone nowhere. I even requested, she put in for administrative transfer. I did call the Board of Education to follow up on it, and I was informed that they never received it. When I tried to follow up with her, she stated that she did everything that she could or whatever, and I kind of just had to drop it at that point in time because there's nothing else for me to do. Lottery, tried that and everything.
for a very long time, my daughter was scared to even put braids in her hair. The child held on to my daughter's braid and said, "I'm going to pull your weave out," and proceeded to rip the braid from her head. And I was handed a Ziploc bag with a bead seal attached with my daughter's natural hair in there with a very big bald spot in the back of her head. So that is very upsetting as a parent. And I understand that everyone they do as best as they can with what they have. I completely understand that. I'm very open. I am understanding. I just would like communication when it comes to my child. I have 2 children that are there, and the only one that is seems like they have a target on their back is my daughter. She has a substitute teacher now who basically went to admin and said, "This is the notes that I was left by X, Y, and Z teacher, and this is the child that I have, and I've only been here for a month." She kind of just shed some light and made me drop my wall when it came to communicating with the school. So that's all I have to say, and thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you. Are there any other cards? No. Thank you for your comments and thoughts this evening. We will now move on to Section 3, the consent agenda, which includes 3.1 minutes from the work session February 18th, 2025, 3.2 minutes from the closed meeting February 18th, 2025, 3.3 minutes from the regular meeting February 18th, 2025, 3.4 financial reports including revenue and expenses reports for February 2025 and child nutrition reports for February 2025. 3.5, the personnel report. 3.6, school board meeting calendar date change. At this time, can we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Madam Vice Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Ms. Buffalo, call the roll.
Harris. 4. Hunter. 4. Alger. 4. Amon.
4.
Brown.
4.
Best.
4.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. We will now move to Section 4, action items. Proposed FY26 operating budget. Dr. Mitchell.
Thank you very much, Dr. Best. At this time, Scarlett Minto will come before you to give you a brief overview or a reminder, if you will, of the proposed budget. Thank you, Ms. Minto.
Good evening, Madam Co-Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Mitchell. Tonight, we bring to you the superintendent's proposed fiscal year 2026 operating budget for board consideration. This spending plan will support the goals and visions set by the superintendent's 5 focus areas and the priorities we have identified during this budget cycle. A budget plan of this magnitude could not be completed without feedback and support and everyone pulling together to make a difference in the lives of our students. At this time, I would like to thank all our stakeholders for their feedback. I would also like to thank the school board and school board members and the superintendent, executive and senior leadership, the Newport News City Manager, City Budget Staff, Newport News Budget Staff, and our Human Resources for all their support during this budget planning process as we determine the best way to ensure our limited resources are used most effectively to ensure our students graduate college, career, and citizen ready. This is our current revenue projection for fiscal year 26 from all sources. We are projecting a total increase of $6.4 million in revenue over fiscal year 25 for a total of $406.3 million in revenue for fiscal year 26. We continue to monitor and manage our staff salaries to ensure we attract and retain the best staff. For fiscal year 26, the superintendent's proposed operating budget allocates funding for 3% salary increase for contracted employees. We will continue to maintain our salary scales, increase associate teacher pay, increase teacher starting pay in line with the 3% increases, and we will maintain competitive compensation for all staff. We will work to provide sign-on bonuses for our high-need licensed positions. This is an overview of the superintendent's proposed staffing plan for fiscal year 2026. A total FTE of 3,895.5, which includes teachers and instructional assistant positions, totaling 2,154.5 FTE, or 55.4% of our total full-time equivalent positions. Balancing the budget. To summarize, we are projecting an increase of $6.4 million in new revenue. Increases in expenditures total $18.9 million and include salary increase of 3%, support staff market adjustments, sign-on bonus for high-need licensed positions, increased healthcare costs, increase in New Horizons, fuel utilities, increase in fuel utilities, operations and maintenance of schools and facilities. A decrease of $12.5 million in expenditures used to balance this budget includes a reduction of 12.2 teaching positions in line with the projected decrease in student enrollment, asking our employees to share in the cost of health insurance increases, a decrease in our city pension liability and VRS debt service, a decrease in contract services, a decrease in online software, materials and supplies, and recognizing non-reoccurring costs and projections of savings for turnover and attrition. So total increases $18.9 million minus total decreases $12.5 million, each equals $6.4 million to provide a balanced budget. At this time, we will need the school board to consider for approval the following amounts for fiscal year 2026. General Fund $406,277,558. Workers' Comp $1,672,595. Textbook Fund $8,182,252. Child Nutrition Services $28,840,053, for a total school board adopted funds of $444,980,458. This ends our presentation, and I would be happy to take any questions.
Any questions? Board members? Any comments?
I, Rashina Harris. All right. I, Rashina D. Harris, a member of the Newport News School Board, do hereby declare pursuant to Section 2.2-3112.A and Section 2.2-3115.F of the Virginia State and Local Government Conflict of Interest Act that the school board regular meeting of March 18, 2025, 1. There is an action item on the agenda identified as proposed fiscal year 26 operating budget. 2. Pursuant to the VA Code Section 22.1-92, the transaction involves a school board vote on the approval of its proposed fiscal year 26 operating budget for submission to the Newport News City Council for approval. 3. I have a personal interest in the transaction by virtue of my marriage to City Council member Marcellus L. Harris III. And 4, I am disqualifying myself from participating in the transaction.
Any other comments? Okay. Any other questions? At this time, we'll entertain a motion to approve the budget.
And I'll read this after. I move to approve fiscal year 2026, the fiscal year 2026 proposed operating budget in the amount of $444,980,458.
We have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Madam Vice Chair, one point of question in terms of when we approve this budget tonight, and should the General Assembly have some changes that we potentially anticipate, what would be our next steps? So just in terms of educating the community, can we get some a few words on the process that the board would have to take should there be some adjustments from the General Assembly?
So once we get an approved budget, we have to do a budget update in public. And then you would have to vote on that again.
Okay. And so just wanted to iterate tonight that while we are planning for this budget that we have, there's dependency of that plan that City Council has to approve and the state has to approve
Correct.
the budget in order for what we're voting on tonight to be concrete. So while we're really excited about, I think we're all really excited about the vote we're going to take tonight, and we're proud of the work that we've done. There's still some anticipation left after we vote tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Minto.
Thank you. Okay.
And thank you, Dr. Beston. I have a statement to read on behalf of Lisa Searles-Law, our board chair, who is not able to be with us this evening. I regret that I am unable to be with you in person today, as I am out of town celebrating my father's 80th birthday. However, I want to take a moment to express my appreciation to the leadership team and Dr. Mitchell for their diligent work in preparing the 2025-26 operating budget. Balancing the budget is no easy task, and I am grateful for the thoughtful consideration given to the district's needs. I especially appreciate the inclusion of board priorities that directly support students and staff while ensuring the responsible allocation of resources. In particular, I have great appreciation for the effort reflected in the review of staffing needs and the assessment of unfilled positions for the division. I commend the work done to optimize existing resources and operate within previous funding to meet the next year's needs. Additionally, I want to recognize the articulation in the budget that provides for teachers' requests for professional development funding to help us achieve our literacy goals. This is a budget we all have contributed to, and my hope is that it receives a favorable vote. Thank you for your dedication and commitment to our district's mission.
Thank you. Are there any more questions or discussion? Ms. Buffalo, call the roll, please.
Harris. You just Hunter.
4.
Alger.
4.
Amon.
4.
Brown.
4.
Best.
4.
Motion carries. 5, 1 abstain.
Thank you.
All right.
We will now move to section 5. We'll now move to section 4.2, the 2025-26 proposed calendar. Dr. Mitchell.
Thank you. As you recall, Ms. Tracy Brooks has presented to you the proposed calendar for next school year. Ms. Brooks meets with her colleagues in the surrounding districts. We have given staff an opportunity to email Ms. Brooks with their feedback. So at this time, we would like you to vote on whether you approve this new calendar, if you will, as presented by Ms. Brooks.
There are no other questions? Are there any other questions for Ms. Brooks?
I just wanted to confirm there haven't been any changes since we had the presentation.
No.
Okay. Well, at this time, we'll entertain a motion to approve the 2025-26 calendar, proposed school calendar.
So moved.
Second.
Can I get a second? And is there any discussion? Any comments? No?
Clear. Who made the main motion? Mr. Brown. Who seconded? Ms. Bateman. Okay. All right.
You may call the vote.
Okay. Harris.
4.
Hunter.
4.
Alger.
4.
Amon.
4.
Brown.
4.
Best.
4.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. We will now move to section 5, reports and information. 5.1, special education annual plan. Dr. Mitchell?
Thank you so much, Dr. Best. Tonight we have a presentation from Vivian Vitullo. She is the Director of Special Education Services. And as a part of our federal requirements under the Individuals with Disabilities Act, we conduct an annual review of our special education funding, and we really look to ensure compliance, effectiveness, and more importantly, meaningful outcomes for our students. So this evening, Ms. Vitullo will walk us through the proposed spending plan for 2025-2026, the Special Education Federal Annual Plan and Application. She will highlight some key funding allocations as well as our ongoing efforts in professional development and post-secondary transition planning. She will also highlight how we work collaboratively with our community partners to create a supportive educational environment for students. So please join me in welcoming Ms. Vivian Vitullo.
Good evening, Vice Chairman Best, board members, and Dr. Mitchell. Tonight I am presenting the proposed spending plan for federal grant funds allocated for special education. Local education agencies are required to submit this application each year pursuant to the federal provisions of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act of 2004, as well as the Virginia state regulations governing special education and related services for students with disabilities. Prior to the submission of the plan, the Virginia Department of Education requires that the local division present its plan to the local school board for approval and for review by their local Special Education Advisory Committee. The annual plan serves as a formal agreement between the local school board and the Virginia Department of Education for implementing federal and state laws governing special education services. Accordingly, we are required to provide certain assurances related to the provision of these services. Specifically, we are required to assure that we are providing a free, appropriate public education, that each student's program is designed for them and is documented on an individualized education program, and that students are educated in an inclusive environment to the extent that their educational programming permits. Finally, we must maintain a structure that prevents the over-identification of students in special education in general or in specific categories. In addition to the assurances, the annual plan requires that the division submit information on expenditures and some selected programs. For maintenance of effort eligibility, we make sure that we are budgeting at least the same amount on special education supports as was spent in the year maintenance of effort was most recently met. Included in the selected programs is the local jail program, where services are provided by licensed special education teachers to students with disabilities who are currently incarcerated. Another component of the plan is the supports for students with disabilities parentally placed in private schools, including homeschooled students, for which we offer special education services. It is important to note that the administrators from the private schools collaborate with our staff to identify the provisions of special education services to be made available to the parentally placed student. Our agreement has been to offer speech-language services to those students who are found eligible. In addition, we collaborate with these programs to offer professional development and engage with families to meet child find requirements of IDEA, which requires schools to identify, locate, and evaluate children from birth to age 21 who reside in our district and may require special education services. The last component is the funding expenditures. It is separated into two sections, 611 for pre-K through 12 grade and 619 for preschool special education only. We are currently serving students in 12 of the 13 disability categories. As reflected in the graph, the disability categories with the most students is specific learning disabilities, followed by autism. We do not currently have any students whose primary disability is deaf-blind. Our federal funding allocation is based on the number of students with disabilities receiving services on December 1. On December 1, 2024, we were serving a total of 3,803 students with disabilities. As of March 1st, we are serving 3,940 students, which reflects an increase of 137 students. Over the last 4 years, we have seen a steady increase in the number of students with disabilities served by Newport News Public Schools. Since 2021, we have increased by 346 students. The two disability categories in which we have seen the most increase are autism and developmental delay, which is a less specific category used for children up to the age of 7. Special education programs are supported by federal, state, and local funding. IDEA Part B are federal funds that provide financial assistance to school divisions serving students with disabilities. The Individuals with Disabilities Education Act 611 and 619 combined represent nearly $7.3 million of the overall funding. We are proposing to continue to utilize this funding for personnel, including a parent resource coordinator, which is required by the state, and extended school year services for those qualifying students. Approximately 121 positions are supported by these funds. I would like to close out this presentation by sharing some of the highlights from the Office of Special Education and Student Support Services during the 2024-2025 school year. Professional development opportunities include in-person and on-demand options for all special education teachers, instructional assistants, and long-term substitutes. In-person professional development focused on strengthening skills in the identification and implementation of specially designed instruction. First and second year special education teachers participated in the New Teacher Institute, which includes multiple full-day sessions. I also want to highlight our community partnerships. Through Project Search and in partnership with Centera and Fort Eustis, we continue to provide our students with authentic experiences to develop workplace skills. Interns participating in these programs boast a success rate of nearly 90% in gaining competitive employment upon completion of their internship. Our partnerships with the Department of Aging and Rehabilitative Services enables us to provide our students with both virtual and in-person participation in their career exploration program, through which students explore career interests, develop independent living skills, and complete a vocational assessment. The Special Education Training and Technical Assistance Center at the College of William & Mary partners with us to provide our staff with targeted professional development focused on specially designed instruction and implementation of our Move Plus program supporting transition activities for African American males with disabilities. During the next board meeting on April 24th, we'll be seeking your approval for the proposed plan, and we'll submit it to the Virginia Department of Education no later than May 9th. This concludes my presentation, and at this time, I am happy to respond to your questions and note requests for additional information.
Board members, do we have any questions? Mr. Brown.
I'll ask the question, even though I don't particularly want to. So the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, that's a federal law, is that correct?
Yes.
So if the federal U.S. Department of Education were to dissolve, is there still a requirement to do this annual plan? So in other words, are we doing this annual plan because the federal government requires it or because the state government requires it?
The state government requires us to submit an annual plan. Under the federal government, there's special education regulations. State special education regulations mirror the regulations for the federal government, both of which require us to continue to provide a free and appropriate public education to all of our students.
Okay. And then I guess the next follow-up one is, of the funds that are available to us, what mix of federal versus state are those funds in this item 611 and 619?
So 611 and 619 are specifically federal funds.
Okay, so that's what potentially would go away.
Yes.
And locally, we would have to absorb all of that cost, notionally, right?
Yeah, we would have to work with our school division to make sure that we can continue to meet the regulation requirements. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I just have a couple of I guess nice to know kind of questions. Twice exceptional. How many students do we have in our division that may have that? And I know you may not have that answer.
I can get you that information.
Okay,
Yes.
that'd be great to know. And also, number of L students that are also identified as special needs. I think that would also, to kind of paint a picture of the, to go along with the other information that we have. And also with the parent resource coordinator, is it just one position or?
Yes, it's a part-time position.
It's a part-time position.
Yes.
And I think it's a vital position because of the needs that we have with our families, especially with the increasing number of, students with disabilities. Yes. I'd like for us to consider, possibly to have even a full-time if possible, but
we
anyway.
Certainly can consider that.
We can.
We can, and I do want to share, we are very fortunate that, and we're one of the few that has a former special education teacher as our parent resource coordinator. So she really, really knows special education.
Oh, that's
So,
great.
yeah, but we
That's
certainly
great.
can look into
Yeah,
that.
because that's such a great need, and with the increasing number, I think we need more support. And also, lastly, with the workplace skills, does that count towards the accountability as far as, you know, the three
internship
E's,
piece.
right?
Yeah, so the way the course is coded is it's coded in such a way that it contributes towards that data, so that it's identified as students who are participating in internships.
Okay, so that's a really important piece that could be helpful
Yeah.
as far as accreditation.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. That's
Also,
good to
some
know.
of our students are able to obtain certifications through workforce development, which also count towards the accreditation requirements.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions? Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
So, thank you for that report. And it's nice to have also a superintendent that's a former special education director as well. 502, the attendance reports, 503, membership reports, and 504, construction reports. Board members, you have received, a copy of this report. Are there any questions? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 505, which is comments by the superintendent, Dr. Mitchell.
Thank you very much, Dr. Best. Woo, I will tell you, I am tired today. So I would like to begin by sharing that today we had 1,600 seniors from Newport News Public Schools high schools gearing up for graduation in June. They gathered together for motivation and celebration at Newport News as Newport News Public Schools held its very first senior rally this morning at Christopher Newport University in the Freeman Center. So we certainly thank Christopher Newport for allowing us to use that amazing facility. Dr. Adolph Brown served as a guest speaker with a very inspiring message for all in attendance as they prepare to launch from high school to their next chapter. The high energy gathering also featured DJs, games, lunch, and vendors for each of our seniors as they make decisions about their future. It was an electrifying event today. 1,600 seniors. It was pretty, it was very loud, but very engaging. Warwick High School's team won the Blue Crab Bowl of 2025. You might say, what is the Blue Crab Bowl? So it is Virginia's regional competition of the National Ocean Sciences Bowl. This was held on March the 1st at the Virginia Institute of Marine Science in Gloucester. It showcases some of the Commonwealth's most talented science students as they display their mastery of ocean knowledge. Warwick High School finished first among the participating teams, and I think it's important to note that the participating teams included public, private, and governor schools. So our students came in first place, and we are extremely proud of Warwick High School. So they will now advance to the National Ocean Science Bowl competition that will be held May 17th and May 18th, and it's really interesting. It's going to be held on Zoom. So that's a little interesting, but we are super excited about our students and the achievement, the major achievement that they've been able to accomplish. Next, we have Newport News Public Schools archery teams and individual archers had a very strong showing at the Virginia National Archery in Schools Program State Tournament. It was held March the 8th. Every year it's held in Doswell, and we're proud to say every year we have students that compete. Qualifying for the U.S. Eastern Nationals, which will be May 8th through the 10th in Louisville, Kentucky, we had numerous individual archers and teams from Rich Neck Elementary School, Ella Fitzgerald Middle School, and Menchville High School. So we are very proud of our students, and we know that they will do well in this next round. So we now have another student. She is a 9th grader at Menchville High School, Sahersha Visvantan. She was selected as the winner for high school students in the 2025 Distinguished Trailblazers in Sciences competition. Her winning entry was actually a video presentation about 2 University of Pennsylvania professors who won the 2023 Nobel Prize in Medicine for research that enabled the platform used to rapidly develop life-saving vaccinations amid the global COVID-19 pandemic. So she is the winner out of many. I don't have the number of students, but I was told across the country. So she is the 2025 Distinguished Trailblazers in Science winner. So we are super proud. Menchville High School. Continuing on, as always, we have lots to celebrate. Students read their poetry submissions, and place winners were recognized at the Artistic Versus Student Readings and Awards Ceremony that was held February 15th at the Mary M. Torgler Fine Arts Center at Christopher Newport University. Just another example of how Christopher Newport has truly partnered with us. The 2025 first place winner was Woodside High School student Cameron Brown for her poem entitled let me get this word right, Candelabra Confinement, which was inspired by some artwork. So we are super proud of her. Super proud of all of them. I believe you were in attendance.
And Ms. Alger.
And Ms. Alger
And
was
Ms. Searles Law.
Okay. All right. Moving forward, our master teaching artist from Wolf Trap Institute for Early Learning through the Arts, so we really work with our early learners through arts as well, have been working with our preschool students and teachers again this year. This partnership is in its second year, and it is funded by the Virginia Department of Education through a grant. It provides learning experiences for our preschool students and both in-class and program-wide professional development for our preschool staff. This year, the partnership grew to include family workshops for bilingual students and families in the dual language immersion program. Super proud of the work that they are doing together. We all know that March is not only all about basketball, March Madness, but here in Newport News, March is Music in Your Schools Month. Activities have taken place across the school division, and each Monday in March, we have a different musical group from one of our schools perform right here for our staff in the administration building in this very room. It's been a wonderful way to start off each week on a positive and musical note. Upcoming on the calendar, Friday, April the 4th, will be a half day for students with a teacher work day in the afternoon. April 7th through April 11th will be spring break with all of our schools and offices closed. And Monday, April 14th, schools will be closed for students, but it will be a full teacher planning day. Dr. Best, this concludes my comments and remarks for this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. We will now move on to item 6, another opportunity to hear from the public. Ms. Buffalo, are there no cards? Okay, well, we'll move the agenda to matters by school board members, but we will begin by our student representative, Mr. Razvan Burdett. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Best. I just wanted to start by confirming what Dr. Mitchell said, how electrifying our senior... I wanted to start by confirming what Dr. Mitchell said about how electrifying our senior rally was, and I wanted to thank her for all of that. Also, last month I participated in the first meeting of the School Division Strategic Planning Steering Committee when we began our work on setting the priorities for the school division for the next 5 years. The consultant will be conducting a focus group with students at our student advisory group meeting next week, and I am looking forward greatly to that session. We will also be recruiting a student from each of our 6 high schools to serve on the school division's Student Rights and Responsibilities Handbook Committee, which will begin to meet in April. Since we are approaching the time to begin the process for selecting a new student representative to the school board, I also plan to share my experiences with the group at our March meeting and encourage students to vie for the position in May. In closing, I would like to wish my fellow students a very happy and safe spring break. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hunter?
Mr. Chairman, I have no comment tonight.
Okay.
Thank you. Just happy Easter to everyone, spring break.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Amon?
No comment, just enjoy your spring break.
Great. All right, Mr. Brown.
All right. Well, you know I always have a comment. I'll try to be less than 5 minutes with mine. So first, I want to congratulate Mr. Verde on, of course, we're looking forward to several more months with you in your position, but I wanted to let you know that in your role in your position at the state level, there has now been discussion about having more than one opportunity for the student reps across the state of Virginia to get together. So through the work that you did with other student reps at the annual conference, the Virginia School Board Association has decided to continue additional sessions for other student reps. So I want to thank you for your leadership and thank you for the impact that you've had. So you have a legacy that you are leaving behind as our student rep. So congratulations on that. Also want to say congratulations to all the student athletes that we saw and got a chance to honor here tonight. Really excited to see the investments that we've made in athletics and extracurricular activities really paying off in a big way, that we can really see these young people come forward and they're receiving regional and state level championships. So that's what that's really very encouraging to see, I believe, as a board. And then now we've of course hopefully we finished up our operating budget. We know the last 2 years we've had to come back and re-vote on it again. That's why I made my comment and question tonight. But hopefully we've wrapped that up. But as we have learned during this session and during this year, one of the challenges for us is really, as a board, taking on the work of optimizing our transportation. While I want to thank Dr. Mitchell and her team for making optimal use of the resources that we have and doing less with more constantly all the time. What we do, I think, as a board now on our end need to take on as work is with the resources that we do have, given that we have historically had an allocation of positions, but not necessarily had all those positions filled, but with the actual positions that we do have, what is the right workflow and the right throughput that we should have throughout our division. So I want to really ask the board to take on that challenge and that work over the next few months so that we can reduce the level of impact and stress that we've seen on our transportation department and really make the best experiences that we can for all of the students. So with that, thank you all, and seniors and all the other students. Remember to finish strong. You're coming out of rest up a little bit during Easter, but during Easter you should be thinking about all the assignments that you still haven't finished yet. Get those turned in, get your studying done, get your work, get yourself studied up and ready for your final exams so that you can shine and have the kind of good summer that you want to have. Or of course, you can see me during summer school, because I love seeing young people during summer school coming by, shaking your hand, and patting you on the back when seeing you in summer school. So either way, if you want to see me and that's great for you, look forward to seeing my smiling face, or get all your exams done the way that you hope that you can get them done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Ms. Alger?
Yes, I might take a little bit more time. You did take up.
Yeah, I did take up a lot of time.
Okay,
yeah.
so I'm gonna, okay, I just want to say today the senior rally was incredible. It was a great visual. One of the things that I thought was really important, and something that I want to know if you know, in terms of on-time graduation, when I looked around today and I was looking at the number of seniors that potentially are graduating on time, I want you to know that the students from last year, the senior group from last year, the percentage was above state level. Mm-hmm. And the state level was, in case you didn't know this, 92.8%. But for us, it was 93, so we were above. And I expect, after looking at what I saw today, that it would be even higher. And I think that's something for us to celebrate and to know, because it's the good news we need to pass around.
Ms.
So
Alger, my expectation is 100%.
There you go.
We have said to our students, if you are credit deficient right now, we have opportunities for you to be able to take an online class. If we have to do a night school, we will do a night school. The expectation is
100%.
Everyone sitting in there needs to know that they are going to walk across that stage in June.
That's it. That's it. And today was a great reflection of that expectation, so thank you. The other thing I want to share too, I've been spending time with different communities, in particular the Latino community I've gone to a class in Menchville to talk to students from the Spanish bilingual classes, to talk to them about the importance of language and being bilingual and the benefit to that. And this past week, I was invited to speak to to go to Watkins to meet families that are in the PEP program. And these are Latino families. And to discuss with them about their resources in the community. And the biggest thing for them to understand my role and our roles as far as being a miembro de la Junta Escolar. And it's important of the folks in our community and the importance of inclusivity. So I want to make sure that you know about that because it's important to keep our circles wide and open. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hamilton. Ms. Harris.
Yes, I want to echo my colleagues in regards to the senior rally. I did attend today, my first one. This was the first. This was the first one. So yes, very electrifying. Lots of energy, lots of familiar faces. The energy from the students was top tier. I feel like things like this need to continue. It needs to be a situation where they're talking to their friends about it and they're excited to be a part of it the following year and so on and so forth. I even wore my shirt that we got. I'm very excited. I love a free t-shirt. And so yes, wanted to shout out all the administrators and the participants and everyone who was involved in putting that together. I also attended on Saturday on the 15th, Safe Haven Community Center had a family fun day. And this was a consortium of different external vendors that were there to offer resources to the community. Thrive was there giving out fresh produce. I mean, avocado, it was fresh fruits and vegetables and things along those lines. The clothing closet was open for families to partake in clothing items. And then there was, of course, the after-school program for enrichment. There were tons of Newport News public school students and families that went through those doors. And so I think it's important for us to remember the external factors that affect our families and to give them access to resources and knowing what they have available to them right in their backyards. And so it was something nice to see. And they also offer therapeutic services there as well for their after-school students. Hopefully they will be a designated spot on the transportation for next school year so that students can leave straight from their schools and partake in the after-school programming that they have there. So I wanted to shout them out as well. And enjoy your spring break. Seniors, you're almost there. Don't get stuck in that senior slump. The light is right there at the end of the tunnel. So I encourage all of our students to, again, finish strong and finish well. And that's all I have.
Thank you. And I'm going to be very brief. I'm just going to echo my colleagues that were at the senior rally today. It was just, you had to be there to experience it. It was electrifying. It was positive, it was amazing, it was energizing, it was motivating, and I just enjoyed the fact that from a conversation with Dr. Mitchell, it materialized until this event. And if you attended the event, it seemed to have gone flawless. I don't know what might have been happening in the background, but it seemed to have gone on flawless, and I was standing there just looking around, and I said, all the people that it took to make this a success. And I just want to say thank you, because it's probably so many that we didn't see or even know about. And we just wanted our boys and girls to take a moment. It was originally scheduled earlier in the year, but we had a snow day, but it actually worked out. Today was much better, and it was perfect just for the seniors to stop and reflect and to reset so that they can walk across that stage. It wasn't all fun. It was fun, but it wasn't all fun. There was a purpose for the fun. So again, thank you, Dr. Mitchell and all of her staff. And then for spring break week, I plan to get some rest. I encourage all of my board members, get some rest. I encourage all of our employees, students, and families, get some rest, take a minute, and enjoy each other, And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.